Welcome to another episode of the Ben Mayfield Podcast. I'm your host, Glenn Hayfield. Listen, I'm excited. I'm excited for this episode. I'm excited for my guest here. He is one of a kind. I met him about almost, not quite 2 years, but a year and a half ago when I started here. Kind, hilarious, unique, and a champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my good friend Sterling. Sterling, how are you?
The nominee. Oh my God.
Dude, yes. Dude, first time on the podcast,
Let's
baby.
go. Let's
You're
go.
ready.
We're
not going to cut it out, but take two.
Yep.
My
the
good
anomaly,
friend.
Sterling Silver, is in the building. Yeah, thank you for having me.
The anomaly.
The
Sterling
anomaly.
Silver.
That's my wrestling name.
Dude, that's your wrestling
Yeah,
name?
the anomaly, Sterling Silver. I can just see it rolls off so well.
It rolls off. Dude, it's
Yeah.
such a great name.
Yeah.
I love it so much. We didn't really watch wrestling growing up. My family didn't do like WWE or WWF at the time. But it wasn't until, but I've seen some clips. I've always kind of enjoyed kind of like the talking trash or the attitude. And I move in with my roommate Garrett, and Garrett's a great guy, one of my college buddies, living in my house. He's a good guy. And he was kind of into it, so he and I have been talking about it. But then I started working here, and then you and Scott were super into it.
Yep.
And so like that kind of helped me with like some knowledge that I've learned from Garrett and watching it with him, and then talk to y'all about wrestling. And it's amazing. I love it.
It is.
And I know
It
there's
is.
people listening right now who are criticizing us, like, wrestling? Like, what? Ugh.
Well, see, here's the thing. They hate us because they ain't us. That's all it is. They hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
That's right.
That's you people.
Yep.
You hate us because you ain't us. Boom, boom, wide shot, and you hate us because you ain't us.
That's right.
Boom. All right. Dude, are we a tag team?
Hey,
Yo.
let's do it. What's the name?
Well, okay. I needed some help with that.
Okay.
I need your expertise because I have a couple options. Mayfield milk, Mayfield ice cream.
Okay.
So I could be the milkman.
Okay.
Been the milkman Mayfield because I always deliver. And I come in. But then, like, I don't know. Not everybody knows Mayfield milk. It's only like a Southeast thing. So I could also go with my Dahlonega roots, the golden boy, the golden child.
Hey,
You know?
low-key.
Former pastor, you know. I say former. I'm currently a pastor. But if I'm going like in the WWE, it's like, am I Preacher Man Mayfield?
Yo. So here's the thing, right? A lot of wrestlers, they have multiple characters. Because, you know, characters do get stale.
They do get stale.
Yeah, so
they
you
do
remember
get stale.
the Rock was like The Rock. Well, no, he was like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Not Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Rocky Johnson.
Pop.
Yeah, Rocky Johnson was
Yeah.
his dad. I forgot The Rock's last name.
Rocky Malavia.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Rocky Maivia. Then he turned to The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went Hollywood, so he was Hollywood Rock.
Hollywood Rock.
And then he really went to Hollywood. He was done.
Yeah.
And then he came back
No,
and he was
legit,
The Rock again.
I'm doing movies.
But he came back. He was the electrifying. He was The Rock.
Yeah.
And then earlier this year he came back the final boss. So characters are always evolving. Like people. So hey,
Yeah.
that's up to you.
Well, I will say like the current champion is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And he used to be a character called like Goldust.
Yeah, Stardust.
Or Stardust.
Yeah, Goldust is his brother.
It's Goldust is his brother, Stardust. And like they had like a bunch of paint and they did that.
Yeah.
And then later on became his actual name, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I do not want to be I don't want to paint my face. I don't want to be some like character.
Gotcha.
I want to be like my name, like John Cena.
Yeah.
Or Hulk Hogan. Even though his name's not Hulk Hogan. I mean, I guess that's true. It's not his real name. But it's something that you could go by. Or Andre the Giant, like, or its name is Andre, but he's the Giant, you know, like something like that. Or what's Ric Flair's the
Nature Boy?
The Nature Boy, it's some nickname, but he still has his name.
The Golden Boy Ben Mayfield.
The Golden Boy Ben Mayfield, or the
Yeah.
Preacher Man Mayfield.
Yep.
That kind of has a little bit,
Preacher Man Mayfield. Okay.
My whole thing is like I go Old Testament on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo.
The chosen ones.
The chosen ones.
Chosen,
Let's
yeah.
go,
Yep.
dude.
We coming for those tag team titles.
Tag team
Y'all
titles.
don't stand a chance.
Not only would we be entertaining, like in the ring, the mic skills, we could talk major trash.
Yeah,
and
we cutting promos.
Oh, we cut
the
so many
promos.
promos, dude.
Yeah,
we would cut promos. We would also, but I'll be the one that's like the holy and righteous one.
Yeah.
But you're the one that's like, I speak the truth. I'm his interpreter.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to tell you.
Like Key and Peele.
Yeah, Key and Peele. Yeah. Like, We shall bring down wrath when in the court, and you're like, well,
We're gonna destroy y'all.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
We will beat you down.
Yeah. Like, oh, whoa.
I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Like, are y'all faces or heels? Yes.
Yes. Dude,
Yeah.
what were the first tag team? And if you don't know the inside wrestling world, what is a face?
So a face is a good guy.
And a heel is a
Bad guy.
bad guy.
Yeah.
What has there ever been a face and a heel tag team? A good guy and a bad guy, but partnered together?
A lot of times.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Because, like, well, so I want to say it's kind of rare. So it's not where, like, they're an established tag team.
Oh, okay.
So say, like, you remember Bad Blood where it was Cody and Roman?
Oh, yeah, that's
so
true.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like that, how they, even though Roman was technically a face, but to Cody, he's still a heel. And he still kind of had that heel aura to him.
Yeah,
So it's kind of stuff like that. So where they, like, bicker and stuff like that. Acknowledge the tribal chief.
Acknowledge tribal chief. Thank you
Acknowledge
so
the
much.
tribal chief.
I know I have friends right now who are listening who are acknowledging.
Yeah, acknowledge the tribal chief.
Garrett is acknowledging the tribal chief.
That's
and he
right.
better do it right now.
Scott is acknowledging the tribal chief.
Scott better acknowledge
Yes.
it. And here's the thing. Garrett, I should have him on the podcast with us. He doesn't want to acknowledge the tribal chief. And if you don't know, there's a character named Roman Reigns, or a wrestler named Roman Reigns, who went to Georgia Tech, Buzz, and he is the tribal chief. And his whole thing when he goes, like his character, when he goes to cities, he says, acknowledge me, Atlanta or Minnesota or New York, acknowledge me. And you hold up and you acknowledge. Garrett doesn't acknowledge. And then there was something where, like, someone was going against another wrestler, Sami Zayn, and he was like, if he helps Sami Zayn, I'll acknowledge him, but he's a piece of crap. I'm not going to acknowledge him. He's the worst. He's not a tribal chief, blah, blah, blah. And then Sami Zayn's getting beat up, who's like a really, really good guy. People love Sami. He's like the underdog. And then Roman Reigns helped him out so he didn't get beat up. And everybody in the room was like, you got to acknowledge.
Yep.
You said you would. And he he threw it up like this, like, I don't want to, but I will. He acknowledged.
Hey.
He acknowledged.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing about wrestling, right? So I always tell people the worst thing about wrestling is the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this interview with Cody Rhodes where he was saying wrestling fans and Star Wars fans are the same breed.
Wait, that's me, baby. I'm a Star Wars fan. Let's go.
But it's all right though, because you know, like you're a cut from the cloth. You know. What
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like a lot of the wrestling fans and Star Wars fans, they'll eat each other. They eat each other alive in their own communities.
Oh yeah,
because they're so toxic.
They're very toxic.
But
that's
then,
true.
like, let some outsider come in. Oh, that's lame. Then that's when all the fans unite and get jumped. Like, oh, what'd you say? Oh,
would you?
Oh,
you say you had a voice at the table?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, so, what you mean by that?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
That's so true because, like, especially like in Star Wars or anybody who's listening, like you have your fandom.
Yeah.
And if you know someone loves the fandom, like, and you feel that genuine connection, like they love the Star Wars or wrestling or whatever TV show or fandom, and then you talk about it, they have opinions on it, then that's one thing. Like, okay, I can see how you see that. I disagree, but okay. But if someone who you don't know doesn't love the fandom or doesn't proven that they're like in the inner circle, they say something, it's like, whoa, who do you think you are?
Right.
You know, if I go over, I'll say this one to all my ladies. We had the last week's episode. They're talking about Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I don't know.
Look
at that.
I know nothing about Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
But if I walked into them and said, well, I think Grey's Anatomy stinks and this character is not good,
You're getting slapped.
I'm getting slapped.
Yep.
Like, excuse me?
Yep.
If I talk about my Gilmore Girls, getting slapped.
Yep.
One Tree Hill, they're taking me down.
Yep.
All my 90s people, Dawson's Creek.
Oh, man. Degrassi?
Yeah. Degrassi?
Yeah. Oh, Degrassi was fire, though.
It was fire. It was good. I didn't say anything bad about Degrassi. But if you were, they're like, you're not in the inner circle. You can't say things.
Yeah.
But if you're in it and you're like, oh, Chad Michaels, whatever his name was, Chad Michael Murray. I know there's someone listening right now who knows, like, his name is Chad Michael Murray. Chad Michaels, I think, is from Semi-Pro. Not Semi-Pro. Blaze of Glory.
Oh, yeah,
Will Ferrell. Yeah, he's like the ice skater.
Yep.
Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like you're in the thing, and so for me, learning wrestling, I had to learn like, all right, who are the characters, what are the stories. I went and watched old matches and videos, and I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Where did your kind of passion, and you know, someone's listening is like, I'm not really into wrestling, but we all have like a passion or something we enjoy watching to escape the reality of the world or whatever it is. Where did your love of getting into wrestling come from?
So even as a kid, right, my interest in storytelling has always been there.
Oh,
Even from like watching movies like The Lion King and reading books, comic books, superheroes, it's always a story. It's always characters progressing or even regressing from one point in time to another. And it's just like you relate, but you also get inspired by them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So even with going into the whole wrestling thing, it's just like, at first, as a kid, you think it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm watching Randy Orton. I'm like, yo, this dude's the devil. I'm like, yo, this dude is doing some diabolical things. But like, it's just like,
or Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, he's just doing the fingers to the camera. I'm like, so he's really.
Can he do that?
Stone Cold,
Can he do that?
He's actually probably like that. He probably like he's
a little bit.
But he's not excessive. But yeah, and you know, like, there's some things we shouldn't have been watching because, you know, this is like the borderline attitude, ruthless aggression era where it's kind of like, oh, this is very raunchy, but it's just like, hey, you just see it. So it's just in my mind, just like, yo, these are some very interesting individuals. You know what I mean? And then it's just like you see the wrestling and the fighting and stuff like that, and just how everything, it's like a dance. You know what I mean? Because you're rehearsing and stuff. And then, like, you know, being older now, it's a story within itself because, you know, you're watching it as like a real thing as a kid, but as progressing, getting older, you realize that this is more staged. It has characters, it has stories, plot points, everything like that. So I think it just evolved where I have a more holistic perspective on how it is. I think also where being, you know, like I majored in production and stuff like that back at Georgia Southern.
Hell Southern, baby, come on.
And no place else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's crazy because, like, when you watch the production on TV, it's just like, yo, I know how to do that. You know what I mean? Not at that level or to that spectacle, but it's just like I know how to do it. I know when certain beats come in the story. So like when certain fans are like, oh, they should have did this. Oh man, this is a scripted TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, things have to be done to progress the story forward and stuff like that. And it's always just, of course, there's going to be a vocal minority of toxic fans like, oh, they should have did this, they should have did this. I mean, if they should have did that, you would have been in the writer's room.
Yeah.
But you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and Scott told me this. He was just like, hey, you just got to ignore them and just let them cook. So, especially since He Who Should Not Be Named is out and Triple H is in. So, you know, I'm really pleased with the product. So
I think Triple H is doing a good job.
Yeah. And he's really
he's the
incorporating.
CEO or the creative marketing for WWE.
He's him.
Yeah.
He's him. Yeah. No, I think it's just cool. They're incorporating a lot of like professional sports things, like interviews and like, you know, the walk-ins at the beginning of each episode. Yeah. They're just trying to make it professional and it being taken more seriously.
They do the post interviews too.
Yeah. So I think that's why it's kind of getting more steam, like more mainstream appeal again. Because yeah.
WWE is one that, like, when you look at YouTube, it's the third or fourth most subscribed YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like, people are watching it, like, and it's worldwide.
That's right.
They go to Saudi Arabia, they go to Germany, they went to England, and it's sold out.
Yep.
It's one of the most continuously sold out ventures out there.
That's right.
More so than like some football teams. Some football teams don't sell out their whole stadium.
That's right.
But WWE,
I guarantee you, WrestleMania is getting sold out.
Oh yeah,
SummerSlam is getting sold out.
It broke a record. I think it was this last year. Was it Philadelphia that they were in this past year, or that 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Was this past year?
Earlier this year.
Earlier this year, 2024. They're in Philadelphia. And they had to add extra seating.
Yeah.
And it was like the most they ever had in the football stadium. And it was freezing cold, too. It was like below freezing.
And they were out there.
The fans were out there like, let's do this. Yeah. I definitely think there's some people who like to use the F word. And that F word is 4 letters, and it's fake.
Ah, okay.
They like to say that.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. And they like to say that as an insult, or they're trying to like deter us from watching it. And my thing is, I don't like using the F word. I like to say it is scripted.
Yeah.
And they may know or predetermine. A lot of times it's the night of.
Yeah.
They don't tell the wrestlers weeks in advance. They tell them like 20 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
This is the way it's going to go.
The wrestlers are talking to each other during the match.
Yes.
Like saying, hey, do this. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where, like, you're not supposed to hear them, but you still hear them.
Yeah.
But, like, off of that, where, when people say it's fake, Avengers pulled in $2 billion, Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that Thanos isn't out here realistically snapping people, getting rid of half of the world's population or the universe's population. So, you know what I'm saying? It's if you go to Fox Theater and watch The Lion King or Phantom of the Opera, it's scripted. So it's more like an athletic theater.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Athletic theater, and it is very physical.
Yeah, and
that's one of the things that I my buddy Winston. Shout out my buddy Winston, Garrett, Josh McKeever, Josh Meeks, all the boys. We watched Royal Rumble. We watched a couple of Friday night snackdowns. We got Jackson, our producer, back here who came. We forced him to watch it. He loved it. He said he's going to subscribe and watch everything about it.
Nice.
But with that, we all just go like the physicalness.
You got to be in shape.
You got to be in shape. They're jumping up and down. They're landing on these boards. They're hitting each other.
That mat, where they fall, that's wood. That's wood. So you gotta learn how to fall.
It's not like a pillowcase.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. You got to learn how to fall.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know that, like you might die.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Well, and so that I love wrestling, but you mentioned something too that I think is really interesting about who you are. And when I started working here, we have a communications team, and part of that communications team is like production. They do videos, they do editing, and some of our friends have gone to other places to work, but and they hire new people, but they still recognize that that video is important. Like we want this to be premiere, and you're one of those people that I met who does editing, does film, does all this different production stuff. Where did your interest? You say you went to Georgia Southern. Where did your interest and kind of passion when you're looking at degrees? How did you go towards that?
So I actually went in. So I went in undeclared because I just didn't know what to do. And then you meet with your advisor. And it was just like, oh, so what do you like to do? And that's why I said I like, movies and films. I like video games. Anything with like visual arts or a story, that's what I love.
So you like the storytelling aspect of it?
But the storytelling, but also like the presentation of it. Like say when you do film, right? Especially because my favorite aspect of a film is cinematography, right?
Interesting.
So you got to worry about your framing. You got to worry about your color science. You got to worry about how your lighting. All that plays a part. It's like you're painting a picture, but with the camera. You know what I mean?
Now I'm nervous that you're going to watch this video and go, video podcast.
It's cool.
No. Yeah. We need you as a consultant.
I'm not going to lie. If this was Sterling from 2019, I was definitely that guy. But
okay.
Yeah, but you when you get older, you mellow out and stuff. You don't always need the highest tech or the newest thing. Or not every production is a Hollywood production.
That's true.
So it's just you do what you do with what you got. So
that's interesting. So you did framing. You said color science. You did what else? You said cinematography.
Yeah,
which is just I guess
the whole 9 of it. So say color science, right? You have certain colors that evoke certain emotions with certain things. Yeah. I see a lot of red out here.
Yeah,
you're that means a lot of emotion and passion, and you're very extroverted and
that's
out
cool.
there.
That's exactly what
you kind of have that fire in you, you know, and that's what red is. Kind of blue is the opposite, it's very cool, calm, collected. Sometimes it means you're sad, something like that. So it's always a color that represents something, and you want to display that in your frame. And you also want to mismatch with colors. So say blue and orange, they're kind of opposite colors. Or red, blue, yellow. Those are your primary colors. So there's a way to dress up your frame or your scene, and where certain colors that your character wears or that's in the background can display what mood you want to do. So say if let's see. All right, so I'm gonna bring a woman into this. Okay.
All right.
So
all right.
Well, it's not a specific woman, but say okay. So say if they're trying to have a very moody scene with a very beautiful woman, 9 times out of 10 she's gonna have a red dress on. You know what I mean? So because it's just that pops And like that brings a lot of like vitality and stuff.
You know that reminds me of is
Yeah.
the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like the OG Matrix, like
Yeah.
1999.
And it has a very greenish hue
Yeah.
in it because like they're in the Matrix. That's to depict like, oh, like you have that green hue because you're in the simulation and stuff like that, and they're wearing all black and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but in the scene where he's like training him, Morpheus is training Neo. He goes, "Did you see Agent Smith or whatever?" And he was like, "No." It's like where he focused on the girl with the red dress.
Yeah.
And it's like this scene where he looks and sees this girl with the red dress and like is walking by. It's like, did you get distracted? And he turns around and it's like Agent Smith is right there, and it's like you can't get distracted.
Or even with the pills, like the red one, it was so like out there. Like,
dude,
you're gonna
wake up. You're gonna wake up from the Matrix.
So you want like the popping red pill or the not the extravagant, the soothing blue pill. Where it's just like
go right back
to sleep. So it's always something.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I didn't even think about that.
And I that's what I also like when it comes to stories where stories can be told in any type of way. Like it could be told orally, or like even in the Bible, like those were oral stories that were just recorded down. Or someone can write a book. A whole story can just be told in a like a photograph. Yeah. And it's just open to interpretation sometimes. So. It's just an art form that I've fallen in love with over the years, and I want to continue with it. I realized that for a career, not really, but just for myself. And
did you ever try to like go to the Hollywood scene?
I mean, you can't
Was
really.
it hard?
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
So whatever film set you go on, you're going to start out as a PA. Mind you, a lot of these, most of these sets are like 12 hours long, 12-hour long days. So a lot of times as a PA, you're kind of doing the not bare minimum, but the mundane.
Yeah, the grunt work.
Yeah, the grunt work and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's some people who can like grind it out and do it. For me, I was just like, nah. And even if you take an account of today's day and age where everything is kind of content creation, everyone's just starting having the camera, doing what they do.
Yeah.
So the Hollywood formula is kind of dying in a way. Because everyone's on the internet, everyone's doing this new way of things where Hollywood can't keep up. So that's kind of why they're making
storytelling is kind of morphing a little bit.
Yeah, it's evolving, and that's good. Change is always constant. And so it's just like how do you adapt and how do you evolve with it? So now I'm kind of more at the point where I want to do it, but I don't care about algorithms. I don't care about. Like I don't care about growth in the sense of like the numbers. Like if I make a short film,
subscribe today, we appreciate that so much.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying though.
But yeah, so I come from the mindset of whoever watches it is meant to watch it. It can have 2 views, but those came from 2 people. So I think I just have a way more holistic outlook on it for me.
I really appreciate you saying that because. When I started the Gray White Buffalo podcast, and now we morphed into the Ben Mayfield podcast, and I have Jackson who helps me out a lot doing that behind like kind of the production side of it that I used to do by myself and just was not good at. And so he's helped me elevate that, and other people have helped too. But with that, you kind of go like, all right, what are the views? What are the subscribers? What are what did they not like this episode? Was it too boring? I just did an episode last week that just came out with Hannah and Taylor. I had a great time.
Yeah.
But my first thought when I walked out of the room was like, was it good enough? Like, did I do well enough? Did it flow well enough? Was it this? Was it that? And they were like, well, we had a really good time. And I was like, you know what? I did too. Why is that not the first thought?
Right.
Because if you don't like it, then don't listen.
Yeah.
I'm not, because you're going to have such a variety of people. I can't please all people. Some people are going to subscribe to this because you're on it, or they want to listen to it because it's your friend or your family or whatever. And maybe that's the only episode they listen to. There's some people who listen to every episode. That's great. There's some people who are like, oh, this one's not spiritual enough for me. I only like when Ben does the spiritual episodes. Some are like, I want the entertainment episodes. I want to listen to the ones where they play games.
Yeah.
Great. But I'm not going to try to morph myself to please that person. I just want to be Ben Mayfield. And that's why I changed it to the Ben Mayfield podcast. I just want to do what I want to do.
Right.
If you want to join me on the journey, great. And so it's hard. Sometimes you got to refocus yourself. Like, oop,
Yeah.
Don't obsess. I want to do good work,
Right.
but I don't want to obsess on how many people listen to it, how many subscribers to it, what are they saying,
and also like just the weight is lifted, you know, because you're
Yeah.
not really focused on that stuff anymore. You're just focused on the craft itself, and and your love for it. So I think it's just like once you get like more experience with whatever you do, and people will see it. Like it's always going to be one person who just randomly catches lit, and it's going to be like, hey, that was good. And like that one person who stays and continues to watch is way more valuable than someone who just watches a couple of clips or an episode and, you know, they just go about their way. Not saying like that's who one is more important than the other in a sense, but it's just like you have someone who's there, you know. Say like if you make a short film and it gets 10 views and say it's like 2 comments and like one person subscribed, it's still one person that subscribed. That's still one more than 0 or one more than what you once had. So it's always like you see your viewers as people instead of numbers in a way.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird, but
You gotta do that with church too, like, or even like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I'm trying to things that are successful. I guess what I'm trying to come out with, like Chick-fil-A always is about hospitality.
Yeah,
Of like, how do we make you feel like, you know, we want you here and welcomed here. And it's the same thing with church. You know, I've always said I'm starting another podcast in 2025 that's more Christian based, and it's called Loved, Value, Known Podcast.
okay,
And it's about how people recognize that God loves them, values them, and knows them. And then how do we do that for other people? How do we love people? How do we value people? How do we know people? And not just go like, oh, another person showed up. Yay, 1 number for me. I did my job. It's like, what was that person's name?
yeah,
Do you know that person's story? Have you talked to them about Jesus at all? And like trying to get to know them. And I think it's what kind of that heart of like just seeing people. And I feel like you're talking about as a storyteller with your films is like, man, I'm doing this because I wanted to tell a story and I had this passion behind it. And if one person sees it that really enjoys it, great.
yeah,
If 100 people who really enjoy it, great, awesome.
yeah,
But I'm not trying to get out there and let it go viral,
right.
just so I get some type of pride or ego boost that
Exactly.
it hits some number.
Like,
It
and that's not going to stop your momentum either, because at the same time you went in with the mindset saying like, I'm doing this for me, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, even if I didn't get that many views, I had a killer shot that I thought of, and no one can take that away from you. And I think, like you said, that's way more important, and you know, it just makes you whole in a way. You're fulfilled more, you know. Yeah.
And being fulfilled is incredible. And I'm sad to say that you are leaving our current place that we work at, that does, as your role here is film, production, editing. But you're more than just that here. You're also a really good community creator. You help create community. You connect people. You talk to people. People love you. And I've seen that since day one. Now, a year and a half later, it's consistent of like Sterling is a person that brings people together, which is going to be great when you go to your wrestling career. But before the wrestling career, you now are shifting into a new role. And what is that?
I'm training to be a registered nurse.
Yo, RN, baby.
Yep.
He wants to save people's lives before he breaks them in the ring.
Yep.
Dude, is your nursing and medical knowledge going to be part of your character at all?
It could.
It could be.
It could be like say if like did you watch Saturday Night Main Event?
Haven't seen it yet.
So
was it good?
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil you. I'll think of another scenario.
I watch a lot of clips.
Say if I get like injured.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I instead of like, oh, Sterling Silver, he's out for two months, and then like 2 weeks later, my music hits. Oh, we thought that's Sterling.
We thought he was out. He's back. What is he doing?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, yeah, you tore my tricep.
Yo,
I knew how to fix it myself, or something like that.
Yeah,
it's something like that.
You know, your tag team partner is also
The Golden Boy,
the preacher man.
Preacher Man Mayfield,
is also a doctor.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey,
there we go.
And nurses.
Yeah, doctors and nurses, baby.
Yeah.
Obviously, not a medical doctor. Don't get me canceled.
Not a registered nurse yet.
Yeah, working on it.
Yeah, working on it.
So what made you shift from the filming to wanting to be a registered nurse?
So it was kind of a myriad of things. I'm gonna just say it.
That's the SAT word right there.
Yeah,
myriad. I love it.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Higher income. You need to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You need to like stand on your own 2 feet. If I want to start a family or something one day, I have to be prepared.
Yeah.
But more so than that, just some personal things in my life. Say like, my own bouts with mental health.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The mental health of some friends, family members, or even like physical health of some friends, family members. It all like it's always in the back of your head, you know, where it's just like, oh man, like why does that happen, or why did the thing like that happen, or what can be prevented, or if it can't be prevented, what can be done to slow the process, or who are these people as people? You know, a lot of times you see patients as sickly patients instead of like people. So I think, you know, it's just kind of grew inside me like, oh, this is interesting. I'm gonna hold off until I get a little bit more, you know, knowledge or something like that. And I was just kind of going through the motions. I just did some research about nursing and what's to be expected, what's to be done. And it was just, you seen Spider-Verse?
Duh.
Yeah, you remember when Miles, he realized, he found himself. He was like, and Peter in his head was just like, all it takes is a leap of faith. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I should do that. So, you know, I started applying and stuff.
Let's go.
And then I got into Brenau University at first.
It's all women's
and I started
college.
doing my
We're proud of you.
Yeah.
I was kidding. They accept guys.
I did my prerequisites. Oh my gosh, my mental anguish was my mental levels were down.
You take like more science classes, probably.
Anatomy, chemistry, the whole nine. So I was doing that while working here. You know what I mean? But I just found it interesting. Not the chemistry. That's math. That's it. But anatomy, just how your body works and functions and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then my mom was like, oh, Emory has the same program. You should apply there. And I'm just like, Emory? That's
a big school. That's fancy.
That's borderline Ivy League. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean? That's I don't know about that.
All right, Mama, you paying them bills?
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But then I was just like, you know what? We'll try it. So I went to open house at Emory, and I was just like, yo, this is legit. Because they have everything. It's the #1 nursing school in the world, and they have everything state of the art and all that.
It's
and
quite competitive to get into.
Yeah, mad competitive. And I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna take a leap of faith again. So I applied, and it was weird because they invited me to a second open house. I was just like, why y'all do that? And then I think they're just seeing if I would come or not. So I came and then just met some more people and saw more of the facilities. The next day, they said your decision has been made. Mind you know you have different rounds of your application process.
Yeah,
I applied in the third round. I wasn't supposed to get a decision until October. They sent me a whole month early.
Oh wow!
So I'm thinking like, yo, they just threw me out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm done. But I opened it and it was like, congratulations. I was like, no way, ain't no way.
Wow, dude, that's so cool. That's a God moment,
right?
Bro.
It was, and I was just like, wow. So like, that's one of the most like. I haven't really had a starstruck moment in a long time, but that was the first one in a long time where I was just like, wow. And you just like, you know, you sit in silence for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, that's crazy. So
it's like affirmation and like feeling confirmed. Or,
it is like
affirmed,
a confirmation in a sense where it's just like, this is the path I'm supposed to be on. Yeah. And it's just like, it's a blessing, really. So
at a top tier school too, where, you know, it felt like a little bit too, your heart and mind got aligned, where your passion was like, man, like I have a lot of people I love and I care about, and if I were to go pursue this field, I think I could really help them and help myself and help others who I don't know yet, which talks about your heart, and then your mind of like, man, I want to be good at it. Like, I really want to learn well. And there's different schools, and I'm not saying the other schools aren't good.
Yeah, not at all.
There's tons of them. Augusta, North Georgia, Brenau. There's a lot.
Yep.
But then you get this opportunity to go to Emory, which is hard to get into. It's prestigious, and like you got to go in there. And I think it's just affirming and confirming that, you know, maybe you're on the path that God has really put on your heart of like, hey, you're gonna go help people.
Yeah,
you're gonna go love people through this role that you're in. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you start nursing like full, like, because like you had the prereqs and been doing schoolwork, but like your full-time student or nursing starts in January.
Yep. So I'll be a full-time student January 13th.
And how long does that last?
So around 15 months. So I should be done in May of 2026.
Okay. That's not too bad. And then you'll be a fully registered nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go enter different hospitals or wherever you want to work.
Yeah.
Apply and see where you can go.
That's another reason too. I like at first I like the job security, but I also like the flexibility that you have with it. Not just like time wise, but just like the avenues you can do with it. It really becomes your oyster because there's the medical field. The human body is so vast in so many ways, and there's going to be a need for like anything that can happen. Yeah. You know, I'm looking into mental health or cardiology at the moment, but that could flip. Yeah. Once I do more things in school, so it's just exciting to have motion, you know, or have like a plan and just going through that plan. I think, especially in this day and age, being a young man in his 20s, 30s, like they're like, oh, you got to be on your purpose, da, 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 da. But that comes with time. You know, you can't rush like the purpose or like you can't just demand, say, if from a Christian perspective, that God gives you a purpose or you want your life to be this specific way. But also say like everyone says God closes doors and opens windows, or he opens other doors. But you as an individual has to consciously walk through that. You know,
that free will.
Yeah. So it's just like if that door is open, will you take it or not? And if you don't take it, that's also okay. It might hurt, but there might be another door right there that you can take too. It's always something. Yeah. So it's just everything's interconnected in a way.
Well, and I would say too, just with the years that I've tried to study and learn and absorb, your purpose isn't to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Because if that were your purpose, and you get fired or you can't do it, you know, your hands get smashed or, you know, or whatever, some horrible thing happens and you can't be a nurse, then you failed your purpose in life.
Right.
And so your purpose is from like Micah 6:8, you know, walk humbly, act justly, you know, love deeply. Your mission is to love God, to love people. And I think once we understand that that's our purpose, we can find a place to fulfill that. And it sounds like to me like you have always done your purpose where you were at here at this church or where you've been in the past, where you go in the future, is you've loved people. You've created community. You've loved God. You've honored people. You've been kind to people. You've been patient with people.
Say that again.
You've been patient with people.
Okay. One more time.
Yeah, you better have patience who will require patience.
I got you.
And so you've done that, and now you're just finding that your purpose in a different outlet. And I think you're going to do such a good job with nursing. One of my favorite mentors in life is a person named Ursula, who she painted this table, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the buffalo. She's great.
Yeah.
And she's a nurse, and the way that she does it, it's just like that's her ministry. The way that she loves people, the way that she, you know, mentors and helps people. And she does, right now she's in a role where she helps elderly people, which can be sad too if one of them passes away or whatever it may be. And it can be hard on her, but she knows that that's where she needs to be. Yeah. And her purpose is to love those people. And so I'm excited for you to do that. I think you'll do really, really well with that.
I feel like it's also twofold where like you have the nursing avenue, but you still have the film avenue. Both ways in a way still communicate and talk to people on the very, you know, sentimental level. It's just the film level is not career-wise anymore, you know? Yeah. It's just more out of my heart and what I want to give out.
Kind of like this podcast for me. I don't make money off this yet.
Oh, snap.
Subscribe today. We need sponsorships. But this is my creative outlet versus my main job pays the bills, pays the mortgage.
And not saying your main job isn't meaning. Doesn't have meaning. It has lots of meaning. It's still part of the purpose, but they intertwine.
They do.
They're distinct, but they're alike.
So what do you think you'll do to kind of still scratch that film while you're out doing the nursing and helping people?
Well, I will say during school, it's going to be on the back burner. Not going to lie.
Yeah,
that's what it is. But say after graduation, I do plan on just making short films. Probably just make a YouTube. But I'm taking it more from, I'm going to do it my way. So a lot of times you want to do the call sheets and get people aboard and stuff like that and say, hey, we're going to do this, or get locations or stuff, something like that. That still works. But there could be a time where I just want to do a silent film. It could just be me putting on a shirt and getting ready for a prom or something, or a date or something like that. It could be 2 minutes or something like that. But in those 2 minutes, my shots are good, my color's good, I'm looking good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just it's what do you get out of it? How are you being fulfilled out of the film thing, and how are you impacting other people with it? So it's just you can do more in 2 minutes than 2 hours sometimes. Yeah. So it's all about efficiency and where your heart is and where you want to go with it. Like I said, the Sterling of 2019 wanted to be the big Oscar winner, who wanted to do all that, and
he did win an Emmy.
I did win an Emmy.
Yeah, look at that, Jackson. Look at this, Emmy winner. Yeah. Sterling, can you tell people your Emmy win?
So we're doing a concert at Georgia Southern. We're doing this orchestra concert, and I was just running camera for it. And
Let's go.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, you were doing this, so you were part of the team that won."
Yo,
so I'm legit an Emmy winner.
That's awesome.
And I'm the WWE champion. I'm untouchable right now. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're my first WWE champion and my first Emmy winner I've ever had. Nice. I hope to one day get a Golden Globe or an Oscar, but I haven't gotten there yet.
And that I will say that dream is still it's not extinguished. Mm-hmm. It's still out there.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah. It's not it's got to happen, but it'll be cool if it happens.
I'm going to need you to follow along with me for this, okay?
Okay.
And I need our listeners to follow along as well. You and I we're charismatic. People love us. We love people. Yeah. People feel our genuineness. Tag team champions.
That's right.
We go into the WWE. Who are these two guys? These guys haven't been wrestlers that long.
That's
They're
right.
in their 30s. What are you doing here? Yeah. Nah, bro, we grinding.
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys.
No disrespect. Edge and Christic.
Yeah.
No disrespect. The New Day, disrespect because of what happened.
Yeah.
So it's just
we need to come up with our name.
Yeah,
our tag team name. Comment below if you have one. But then we win the tag team championship, right? And we're doing our thing. Maybe we do a little solo. You do a little solo. I do a little solo. Yeah. We're successful. And then we're the next Rock, John Cena, Dave Bautista. And we go into the movie making business.
That's right.
And we crush it. And talking about Bautista, James Gunn.
Is that guy. I would say they're all good actors, but out of all of them, Dave Bautista, his resume is crazy.
Do you watch Nerdstalgic? The YouTube channel?
Sometimes, yeah.
They have a good one. They had one on Dave Bautista that I really enjoyed where they were like, he's been trying more dramatic roles. He still has the action of Guardians and some Netflix films, but he's also doing some horror and some thrillers.
Like The Rock, he's the Rock.
He's the Rock in every movie.
He's the Rock. John Cena? He's been doing his thing. He's been kind of diversifying.
Yes.
Dave has really made that. He's opened that pool. Yeah. So he's for whatever.
John Cena has done action and comedy. Yeah. Whereas The Rock is just action and he is The Rock. Yeah. But the comedy part of John Cena is pretty funny. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But then Dave does action and then drama. Yeah. And the drama part is really cool. And the horror and all those things. And so that's what I'm saying. James Gunn today dropped
the Superman
trailer.
Bro.
It looked so good. Wait, how do we feel about Jackson's giving it?
I thought it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Jackson sounds good.
10 out of 10.
He's a critic. You're at 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Let's go.
As a Superman
obviously,
fan.
I would want to say, when we're recording this, it came out today.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is released later on. But
as a Superman fan, I have been waiting for this. I'm tired of people talking down on Superman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's always the characters like Superman, Cyclops, Captain America, Cody Rhodes, like the whole goody two shoes Boy Scout characters.
Yeah.
But I felt those characters are needed. Like, not every character has to be this dark, brooding, relatable person. You know what I'm saying? There's a need for that.
They're not even relatable.
Right.
What in the world?
Yeah. Like, Batman, like, you are not a billionaire dressing as a bat at night being up bad guys.
Yeah.
You know, like we got work in the morning.
Well, I love Batman. I'm a big Batman fan because, you know, he does look cool. He's fun.
Yeah.
But Batman is better with Superman.
Right.
Like when they do work
World's
together.
Finest.
Yeah,
That's
World's
our
Finest.
tag team name. The World's
Finest.
Finest.
Yo, let's go.
That's it.
Boom. Hope
World's
that's not
Finest.
copyrighted.
Oh man.
You know,
yeah.
How about this? How about
Worlds collide.
the Kingdom's Finest?
Kingdom's Finest.
Because we're not about the world, baby. We're about the kingdom.
I
Let's
like
go.
that.
We'll work on that.
Finest.
I hope that's not like blasphemous. I don't want to get destroyed.
Oh man. Do we knock on wood? Or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But no, I like that because Superman, you know, and Zack Snyder, talking about filmmaking.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen, Zack Snyder did the first Superman movie, and then he did Batman vs Superman, and then he did the Justice League movie. He did 300. He's done several movies that you probably heard of, Dawn of the Dead. And Zack Snyder has a very unique film style.
Very
that
dark
is very,
and brooding.
Yeah, and it's very Zack Snyder.
Very dramatic.
He also did 2 Netflix movies that came out back to back. And I'll say this right now, and Zack Snyder is going to be on the podcast probably soon.
Okay.
And I'll interview him.
Let's do it.
It'll be great. You're invited to come as my friend who knows film.
Nice.
You can interview him with me. But I don't like it. It's not my cup of tea.
I mean, that's fair though.
It's just like, all right, I would say the same thing with Michael Bay. If you ever watch the Transformers movies or Bad Boys,
I
can only handle so many like flares and explosions and bright colors and what is going on?
What Transform? It was. I think it was the last night. The last one he did.
Yeah.
It was just. I didn't know what was happening. It was just stuff blowing up.
So convoluted. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like
explosions. Like, where's the story?
Where are we? As an audience.
Yeah.
Like, I looked over.
Am so lost.
Yeah. My cousin. She was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I
don't know.
I can't tell you."
Just cool robots, I guess. And I don't want to like them be like I'm that guy who's like, well, you can't do it. It's like, yeah, I can't do it, but I can tell you what I like, what I don't like.
It's okay to have opinions.
It's okay to have opinions. I'm not being toxic. They're not bad people.
Right.
But James Gunn, I've liked what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. I've liked what he's done with Creature Commandos, what he's done outside of I like his style and I like his relatability.
It kind of goes back to like what I was talking about with the color science. Like say with the Marvel movies or even the DC movies, they're very muted colors, dark, ambient environments. James is very vibrant.
Yes.
With his cinematography.
100%.
And like with that Superman trailer, the suit was blue. You saw the
blue
and the red,
which is hope
in the sun.
Let's go.
And not saying because we love Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is a great Superman.
Henry's coming on the podcast soon too.
Yeah,
we're talking about Warhammer.
Please invite me. Yeah.
Henry, are you here?
Yeah.
Well, I'll get you next week, bud. Sorry.
Hey.
All right.
Teach me how to work out.
Yeah. Flex them up. What's up?
But so it's just like it's cool it's the same thing that we're talking about. It's cool for stories to evolve and just change. Change is always constant. So, yeah.
Well, and I liked how Henry did great as Superman. He was big, muscular. This guy looks pretty Superman-esque too. Yeah. But I like how it's just he's hope. He represents like just kindness. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize with Superman is like, they do a lot of like Elseworld stories about what if he went evil, but
I get so tired of that.
Yeah, his whole demeanor is he's not like that.
Right.
You know, he was raised in a farm with great parents with good morals, and he just wants to help people.
I feel like too many people try to give him a God complex.
Yeah,
Superman himself doesn't give himself that.
No.
If anything, he's just trying to fit in.
Yes.
With everybody else because he feels he has isolation syndrome.
Yeah. He's the only person, if you really think about it, Bruce Wayne tries to be Batman, you know, or Peter Parker tries to be Spider-Man, or Steve Rogers is Captain America. He's the only person who is Superman trying to be Clark Kent.
That's right. Yeah.
Because his whole thing is like, I want to be normal.
Yeah.
I want to be just one of y'all and be here. And I can't ignore the fact that I have powers and I want to help people.
Yeah.
But he's the only one that I really know in mainstream that is like, no, I'm trying to be fit in.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else wants to be, the superhero or wants
with nothing in return. I feel like people, especially this generation, not this generation. I'm not saying I'm not a boomer. I'm not a boomer.
Okay.
But I just feel like in today's society where you can't do good things just out of the good of your heart anymore.
Right.
There's always some ulterior motive, or people look at you some type of way, or people think, oh, you think you're better than us? No, it's just like it happened. So you do a good deed, then you go about your business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy.
And I don't know if he'll listen to this at this point, but I have a friend named Jordan Cornett, who's a close friend of mine. He actually just texted me earlier today. And when we were growing up in middle school, high school, I was one of the few people. And this is before the MCU. This is like 2008 was Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man 1.
And so that was our sophomore year of high school.
That movie still holds up.
Yeah, it still holds up. And that was like sophomore year of high school. I graduated in 2010. And so, but the MCU hadn't like super been established yet, like in high school and middle school. But I have always been a DC fan.
Yeah.
I have all the DC comics. Jackson can look at them. I have a lot of. I know he's like, yeah, I have too many. I have Batman. Flash is my favorite superhero. Mm-hmm. Before even the Flash CW show came out, I was a Flash fan. It's red. He's fast. It reminds me of the Red Power Ranger. Green Lantern with Kyle Rayner. Hal Jordan. You a Kyle Rayner fan?
Yes.
Let's go.
Well, actually, I'm going to test your knowledge a bit.
Okay.
Sodom Yacht.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
He's a Daxon, which is a sister world of Krypton.
Yep.
So he actually has Kryptonian type powers, but also is. I'm not gonna lie,
I go into like the DC.
Are you impressed right now?
Yeah.
Be impressed with my knowledge right there.
I go into the DC Encyclopedia online. I just be reading articles about heroes. I just like, yo.
Yeah, I did too, man. I have some. Yeah. You should. I got some comic books I want you to read. Okay. I think you'd really enjoy them. Yeah. I'll bring them. And you'll still be helping out on Sundays. Yeah. So you can always bring my comic books back. Yeah. That's right. That's true. Because I have some ones that you really would like. Because I have one that's called the Green Lantern Wars. Okay. Or, no, I'm sorry.
Sinestro Corps?
Sinestro Corps.
I got that. I
read the Sinestro War.
That's one of the best stories ever.
Dude.
Hey,
so good.
Sodom Yacht versus Superboy Prime.
Yeah. You have that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's the only reason why I know it.
That's one of my favorite fights ever.
Dude. Yeah. So good, dude.
Sinestro Corps War. That was it.
Oh, man. Yeah, Sinestro Corps. Yeah, I love it. And that, we could talk about that for a while because I have so many.
Yeah. Yes, guys, we're nerds.
We're nerds.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I only brought up Jordan because he was always a big Marvel fan.
Oh yeah.
And big Marvel, and everybody was so Marvel. And
I will say X-Men.
And Marvel is good.
Yeah, because X-Men is X-Men.
I love X-Men. We grew up watching the X-Men and Spider-Man 90s TV shows.
But we also had like Superman, the animated series, and Batman. We had Batman Beyond.
We had Batman Beyond. Yeah, let's go.
That was a good time.
Well, X-Men 97, the one that just came out on Disney Plus, has redeemed Cyclops.
Thank you.
Because Wolverine was never the main character.
The movies were always Wolverine and friends.
Well, because in the very first one, he just jumped out. I mean, it's Hugh Jackman. He's got the claws, and it's cool. And people are like, oh, that's awesome. And so they're like, oh, he was popular. So X2, which was... I think it's the most successful one of the X-Men series. Yeah, was just like all about Wolverine and his origin story. Right, and then everybody else became a side character. Yeah, it's like what?
Or even like I will say, what's that one? Days of Future Past. That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
And hear me, I do love Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
I love Hugh Jackman. I was Wolverine when it came to Wolverine and Deadpool. Right. I was like, let's go Wolverine.
But it's not Wolverine and friends. It's X-Men.
It's the X-Men.
Everyone has a story.
I want to hear Beast, Iceman, Cyclops,
Jean Grey,
Colossus, Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, Jubilee,
Magneto.
That's
my favorite.
Charles Xavier. Can he get a standing ovation? Maybe not. And so here's the thing. I love X-Men. Only nerds will get that joke. And it's fantastic. Yeah. But I will say this. We have to wrap it up. Sterling, can I ask you this? Will you come back and do another episode?
Of course.
Will you please? As a handshake. That's on camera.
The Kingdom's Finest.
Kingdom's Finest. Yeah. Right here.
Yeah. And we're going to cut promos.
This has been Preacher Man Mayfield.
This is the anomaly, Sterling Silver. We're here. We'll always be here. We'll never leave. You can't touch us. You are not us. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Nice.
I end each episode with a Ben 10.
Okay.
Which is 10 rapid fire. Well, some episodes I just do like 10 topics. I like the whole Ben 10 type thing.
Okay.
So I have 10 questions, but you have to go kind of fast. All right, you ready?
Right, let's go.
I say that because every time I say you have to go fast, the guess is never.
See, now
super
my
fast.
mind's tensing up.
Oh, it's tensing up. Okay. All right, Ben 10 number 1. What sparked your interest in your field?
Stories.
All right. Number 2. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life that shaped you who you are today?
A heartbreak.
Aw.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Hey, that's episode 2. Subscribe today. We're getting into the heartbreak because I can tell you my heartbreaks too. So we're getting into that.
Okay.
All right. Number 3. What inspires you to carry on?
God. And myself.
Boom. God first.
Yeah.
Then yourself, and then this belt.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Number 4. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received, and how? Yeah. What's the best advice you ever received?
Know your limits.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Number 5. How do you handle challenges or setbacks?
You handle the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
Ooh, let's go. I like this. Are you an influencer? You should be.
No, thank you.
Number 6. Can you talk about a book, movie, or piece of art that has profoundly impacted you?
Yo, I'm gonna say I'm Dragon Ball Z and WWE.
Are you a Dragon Ball Z guy?
Yo, I was 4 years old watching Dragon Ball Z.
We haven't even talked about Dragon Ball Z.
That's why we're doing another episode.
You have to come back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll bring Little Gear too, so we can talk about some stuff with him.
Facts.
So he can acknowledge the tribal chief.
Let's
right.
Go.
All right, number 7. How do you balance your professional life with personal interests?
You make boundaries. Have boundaries.
Have boundaries.
Yeah.
Facts. I actually started that when I started working here.
Yeah.
I love my old church that I worked at.
Mm-hmm.
I love the people. Church is kind of the youth kids in particular were awesome. The youth volunteers and the families. But I will say when I was I was there from 24 to 30 age. I didn't have boundaries, man. I would be doing Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday nights,
and that's something I'm still working on myself.
Yeah.
Because I say yes to things a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a
yes guy too.
Yeah. But it's just it's just something to work towards. Especially now, say if I get an email, if I'm home and I get an email from here, I'm just not answering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what
Same.
it is. So.
And I'll see them in the office hours.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, number 8. Sorry, I took this on a detour. What's something you wish you had known 10 years ago? 10 years ago.
10 years ago? It's everything's gonna be okay. There's always gonna be a recovery. Yeah.
I would have chosen lottery numbers, but that's cool too. Number 9. Ooh, this one you might not want to answer this one. It says, what's your biggest regret?
Ooh. That's next time on the Heartbreak episode.
Heartbreak episode. Yeah. Subscribe today. Let's go. All right. Dude, I'm excited. I don't know about your heartbreak, but I'm excited about the content.
It's cool.
And storytelling.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying, my confidence is up there now. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
There's a reason I'm the WWE champion.
The champion. So. This is, you know what? I'm taking out number 10. I'm changing it. Number 10 for me right now is why. Well, can I tell a story about this?
Do it.
And then I'll ask the question.
Let's do it.
Sterling and I went with Garrett and Scott and
Herman.
Winston and Herman. We had a great time.
Yep.
It was about a year ago, January of 2024. And we went to this event, and I say everybody. I say at least 60%, 50% of the people had belts. People had championship belts, different types of belts from different, I guess, eras or different reigns or who had what belt. But in a place that had about 16,000 people, which means there's about 8,000 belts in there. And I'm not fluffing you up when I say this. 7,999 of them did not have what one person had, which was a purple belt.
That's right.
The only place. And I've actually watched, when I watched a little bit of WWE online or, on TV, still in the audience, never seen a purple belt. I don't know if this is a one-on-one custom, but tell us, the question is, why did you choose this belt in this color?
Okay, so, it's not a one-on-one custom. It's on the shop. It's on WWE shop.
Nah, bro, it's one-on-one.
But I did choose this color because purple is my favorite color.
Color of Royalty.
That's right.
What's her name?
What?
Or Divine, or was it?
Oh, Kingdom's Finest. That's our
Kingdom's
Jackson?
Finest.
Yeah.
Kingdom's Finest.
Yeah,
the
facts.
royalty is purple.
That's right.
Let's go. We're building a whole mystique.
It was that purple. Like change has always been a constant in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's be real. I was 2 years old. Barney.
Barney.
I was there.
I was a big Barney guy.
Yeah, hey,
Let's go.
we here.
Let's go. I loved Barney as a kid.
Once again, Teletubbies, Tinky Winky. It was what it was.
I didn't watch Teletubbies, but yeah, I support it. And Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. I was gonna go Mace Windu. Another
Let's go.
Power Rangers. The Wolf Ranger.
The Wolf Ranger was purple.
He was. That
Come
was my
on.
favorite Power Ranger. Another one, Black Panther from 2018.
Yeah, it's got the purple
Yep,
kind
the
of like
purple glow.
vibranium.
Yeah, so it's just purple has always been that color that just stands out to me. Where it's like blue is good, red is bad, or vice versa. But purple is always duality or it's its own thing. It's just kind of it's just separate from the rest. And sometimes that's how I see myself, where you're just separate from the rest. That doesn't mean you're better. You're just separate. So it's just you hold yourself to a certain esteem.
Well, Sterling, I appreciate you being on the podcast. Will you please come back?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm here.
I appreciate it, man. We're on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe today. We appreciate y'all listening. We're on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Comment on our Instagram post. We appreciate y'all listening. This is Kingdom's Finest.
Yep. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Green shirt guy, we're coming for you. We're sitting in those seats.
The who?
The green shirt guy?
The green shirt? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be $10,000, but you know what? It is what it is.
WrestleMania in Atlanta. We're going to be there.
That's right.
Until next time. Peace.
Peace.